Good afternoon, good afternoon. You are locked into mental health in music. In front of me, I have the absolute G that is Rolla. Welcome.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How are you? How's life?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We're going to get straight in.
Okay,
How do you
straight
feel
in.
about that?
I feel fine. That's fine. How's life, did you say?
Yeah, how's life?
Life's all right. Yeah, life's all right.
Yeah, life's good.
It's going all right. It's going as good as it can be.
I like that. As good as it can be. Yeah. I'm going to get straight in and I'm going to ask you, how does a young teen from Essex get into music, and especially the music that you're into?
Yeah, that's a big question. Okay, so how does a young teen get into it? That is the question nowadays. That is the question.
100%.
How does a young teen, not like me, like I kind of I gave up from a young age. I started singing when I was 13, 12, 13. And getting into that side of school life, I was bullied a little bit and thingy. And when I was young, it was just a bit like, nah, I don't want to do that. Everyone took the mick. So I thought, you know what, I'm slowing down now. I started spitting bars when I was 15, 16. I started thinking, I don't really care about none of that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I started spitting bars, writing down bars. And yeah, man, there was just nowhere, there was no opportunity. There's nothing to do, anything. I didn't know anyone like that, obviously very young. The music part of my school wasn't really accommodated for stuff like that either. So yeah, I was a bit lost. So I kind of gave up until Kirby, funnily enough, went to college. To be fair, what happened is he got booted out of school, yeah? And when we was about 15, 16, he's gone on this youth project thing. And he ended up on one of our community radio stations. And started going college with someone who had a studio, and he just said to me, "Right, well, like, what you got to lose?" I was just like, "I'm not really bothered anymore, mate." And then eventually, I was like, who am I kidding? You know what I mean? I've loved music my entire life. It was my dream when I was a kid to be a rapper and a spitter, and you know what I mean. So I thought, who am I kidding? You know what I mean, I went there, yeah, and that's how it all started. I just started building from there. But yeah, there's definitely not much about for teens in Essex around. Well, my part of Essex.
So safe to say that Kirby found you, and that was it.
Well, from the beginning, we was kind of two lads who were very. I mean, I've known him since year 7, mate, like 15 odd years. So, yeah, like we both kind of fueled each other in that regard. He's just the one who went and done the music stuff. I was in college for like decorating. That's how I became a decorator. It's not why I'm called Roller, by the way. I'm clarifying that now. I'm not called Roller because I was a decorator. I was just, yeah, it just tied in perfectly.
Sweet, I love that. How
Yeah,
confident were you in your ability, like in those early stages?
What music wise?
Yeah,
In the
musically,
early
yeah.
stages, not at all, not at all. I didn't think I was not confident in myself at all. But it was everyone else who told me I was good, who was confident in me. I was just a bit like, what? I mean, I just never thought I was that guy, but I was just spitting. I always thought, like, obviously you get more of a buzz and a thing. But we ended up doing the type of area. So it was in Southend where we started to do all this, because that's where Kurz went college, and this guy used to live. We used to go to his studio and stuff, and Southend's a very, especially at that point in time as well, it's a very kind of lit place. There's a lot of events going on at random places, in random like shop fronts and stuff like that. Southend High Street and stuff. So there was a place called the Old Hat, a bar called the Old Hat, and we was all in there like just after college. You know what I mean? Like we was like 16, 17 at the time, 17, 18, something around that. Well, I was 18, but everyone there was like from college. It was that kind of gaff, like I don't know what was happening. I was just like, how are we all in here, mate? Like, but anyway, we've gone there, and yeah, they was all pushing me to the front. Like I was the guy that they all regarded the highest. I was like, I'd never thought that about myself. I was never confident at the beginning, but that built with time, definitely.
How does TC the Genius come into this story?
TC the Genius. So I met TC the Genius. So the community station that Curbs was on. Okay, Curbs is actually responsible. You gotta give him his props here, because Curbs is responsible for a lot of people knowing each other. You know, Curbs basically gave me the opportunity to meet Ags, who was obviously, to me, one of the top boys of my area, if not the top boy. To me, he was the top boy. You know what I mean? Like, bars-wise, do you know what I mean? But obviously, there was a lot of people around. But I met Teese through Curbs on that station. So when we was about, it must have been 18, 19 still. And it was like our first few sets that we'd done. Curbs was trying to obviously bring people in to do sets with, and he was searching around the area. I think they had a conversation on Facebook. And that's when he came down, and kind of the rest is history with that one. We just clicked like we were the same kind of person, same kind of, you know what I mean? We was on music the same way. Mm-hmm. So Teese is, that's my brother, man.
I tweeted the other day, name me a better duo than TC the Genius and Rolla. Didn't get any replies.
I know it didn't. It's, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. We're very, we gel well together. Yeah,
you can see that through the music, and that obviously translates into a friendship. So you can blatantly see that you guys have got a good friendship.
I think that helps, you know.
Yeah.
I think, of course, you know, you look at any kind of duo per se, you know what I mean? Because we are artists of our own, you know what I mean? But when you look at duos per se, you know, you don't have to be friends, but it definitely helps. Yeah. Definitely helps.
Yeah. You said on Twitter that you let the music speak for itself, and I've noticed that on Twitter you don't really talk too much apart from West Ham tweets and music.
Because West Ham wind me up, and and music is the only thing really I need to tweet about, like as in my actual music. You know, I don't really I don't really see the need to talk in that regard online about just for no reason. You know, like for instance, you know what I'm saying. I've just never really been that guy. I live life in the moment. You know what I mean? And I think to myself, we're in a very social media and online influenced stage in the world, you know what I mean? So right now, I should post more, and I probably should do that because of the way that the algorithms are and the thing. These are just thought processes that go through your brain. You know what I mean, about building up a following. But I do. I like to. That's how I am. I thought to myself like that is kind of that's what I've been running with. I do let the music speak for itself. When the music drops, you know what I do, and man. Yeah. Until Elle asked me on a show at Mode, and then we're here talking about everything. So when you ask me, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? But
And if anyone wants to know anything about you, you can just tweet them this set and be like,
ask me what I had for breakfast.
What did you have for breakfast?
Nothing.
That's not going to go down on the algorithm well.
A big old thing, mate. I had a big old spliff. That's what I had for breakfast.
Wake and bake.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So around about 2001, you took all your music down from
2001.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say
2000. Sorry.
Not that old now. Come on.
2021.
Yeah.
You took all your music down from streaming platforms. Why was that?
Okay, so it's just a bit of I wanted to revamp what I was doing. I think what happened there, being honest, being totally real, I came off the back of 2019 with Teese dropping a tape. We was recording in his studio. We was kind of on a roll. The music was going well. And I care a lot about my craft. You know, music's a big thing to me. Music takes me away from what I got going on. And I've seen myself in a certain place from a young age. Of course, I was in denial to begin with, but obviously I brought that back, you know what I mean? So when it came to the end of 2019, lockdown was a hard stage for all of us. But I think I felt the most variety of feelings I've ever felt in my entire life within the space of 2 years. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people. But I think that's what that was. You know what I'm saying? And like I say to you, I go at the moment, I'm very current. I'm very, you know, how I am today. You know what I'm saying? I act on how I am today. So at that point in time, that's the mindset I was in. I was just like, you know what? I think that's the right thing to do in the sense of I've kind of just shoved a load of music out. I've not really been that kind of guy to promote or do anything like that. I've kind of just been running with what I'm doing, and I want to be more professional about my craft. You know, you might see them again, so it's one of them things. It might all come back out. You never know.
Is that a maybe?
Is that a maybe? That's just that. It was always a maybe from the beginning. You know, so I just wanted to kind of revamp what I was doing. Because, of course, within that time as well, with the time of lockdown and stuff, I couldn't do half of the things I was doing. Yeah. Because I'm very reliant on other people in regards to, you know, like mixing and mastering and stuff. At the time, studio, we didn't really have a household studio because, the studio that we was in, we lost pretty much straight away. So, well, after a year. So I had nowhere to record kind of thing and think, you know, it was all uninspired. You know what I'm saying?
So what did you do during lockdown?
During lockdown,
Yeah. Survive.
and survive, yeah, because I'm a decorator, or
Yep.
well, I was. So when I was decorating, obviously we all got kicked off site. I had my own business. I lost out on a lot of dough. I didn't get paid on one of my jobs. Sent me downhill, obviously, because trying to claw that back and do everything I was doing. I was in debt for a long time. But yeah, you know what I mean? I was just surviving for a little while. Got back to the music at some stage. Started making beats during lockdown, and that's when I started making instrumentals. I didn't have a laptop, or I had an old Mac, old Mac, and I can just about get the old version of Logic to work on it. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't making beats on that. But my mate, ST Dank, big up Steve, wherever you are, mate. He started making rhythms in front of me in Ags's studio. So I started going to Ags's studio for a while. But I just had no inspiration. There was nothing happening. I was just going there just to gain my thing back. I was just like, let me have a go, mate. You know what I mean? He was making better beats in front of me. I was like, Jesus, man. You know what I mean? He's doing well, like, because he was only learning at that stage as well. And he'd learnt so much. I thought, you know what? Let me have a go. Like, it was always going to happen. I ended up loving it by my own computer over time because I had no P and it was all mad. I had to build everything up again. But yeah, that's what happened during lockdown. And then we ended up building the studio. That's what happened. I got myself up again, started working again. When we came out of that stage, we was allowed to leave our house, you know what I mean, and be in public again. I started working again. We built the studio, me, Curbs, and my mate Suag. Big up Suag. Made the studio.
Is that the one in the garage?
That's the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you meant my mate Suag. Because that's not the one in the garage, hell no. Yeah, the studio's the one in the garage. Yeah.
Can we just clarify? I've never been to this garage. I don't know who is in there. I'm not like hotting him up. It's
You open it up, he just comes running at you. No, but it's we converted my garage because that was kind of like just the place, the retreat during lockdown as well. You know what I'm saying? At the point, yeah, it was because we was linking up. Like, don't tell the government. You know what I mean? We was linking up, obviously. You know what I mean? If we was when we had no symptoms and stuff. So obviously everyone was a bit uneasy of whether it was real, speculation, whatever. You know what I mean? But when we was linking up, and then we decided in the studio it's actually funny how it come about because we went to a boot sale, on a Sunday morning. We thought, let's go to a boot sale, buy something to just flip it. Just like, why not? We need some P.
Yeah.
Nothing's coming in for us. Like, let's just do it as a mates thing. Just like, because we've always moved like that anyway, like round where we live. Like I've always been like that as a person. We're kind of like that as friends. So it was like, let's go just flip some stuff. And then we went there, we got back, and we must have bought like 25 of these vinyls, and we're checking up how much they are online and this and that. We bought like 25 vinyls for like £2. Yeah. And we're sitting there slapping them up on Gumtree, Amazon, this and that. When I've just slapped them down like, bruv, what are we doing, bro? Sitting in my garage at like 10 in the morning, like just stoned out our nut, just sitting there going, what are we doing here? I don't even know why we was just bored. We must have been just bored. Let's just build a studio, and that's literally what we said there and then, and we did it. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
And then that's what this is, and that's what I was doing in lockdown now.
For those who can't see, he is displaying proudly his The Get-Go t-shirt.
I am. I'm displaying the Get-Go t-shirt.
So who was Rolla when he returned to music after that little hiatus?
Who was he? I don't know. He was definitely a top boy still. You know what I mean? But he's great. He released Green Therapy. I've released Green Therapy. I can't even remember when that was now. I think that was last year or the year before. No, it was last year. Sort of beginning-ish, April-ish of
2000 and what?
2001. No, 2002. 2022, April sort of time, I dropped Green Therapy and started like releasing some of the catalogue. You know, I mean, you said on Twitter you was listening to the catalogue the other day. That's not my catalogue yet. You'll see. There's a lot of stuff coming this year. There's a lot of stuff coming over the course of the next few years. Big plans. Looking forward to the future.
I like that. Can I ask, what's your mental health journey been like as an adult for your adulthood?
What's my mental health journey been like in the sense of, like,
well-being, mental health, anything that you've dealt with?
I mean, yeah, plenty. You know, I think it's hard to say speak to many people nowadays who don't. You know what I'm saying? I've struggled with anxiety chronically, depression, you know, a lot of stuff. So sometimes I feel mania. No, but you know, it gets a bit crazy from time to time. You know, I struggled a lot with anxiety from a kid. You know, when I was young, I didn't really have many friends or anything like that. I wasn't that. I was very family orientated rather than having friends. So didn't really push myself into that area too well when I was a kid, and I think that it was a lot of trauma, a lot of things happening at home that couldn't be helped. You know, my mum being a single mum, trying to raise us up the best she could. You know, things happened. You know what I'm saying? I won't speak on that behalf because right now everything's good, and very grateful for what I've been through. To be honest with you, when I look back upon my mental health journey as per se, I feel as though it's more of a situational journey. When you look at predicaments you've been in and stuff like that, and mind state's a funny thing because mindsets are fickle. They're they change up often. You know, so you've got to focus on your situation and your predicament. I find a lot of the time, and that's what I found myself doing over a lot of the time. But yeah, I've struggled with a lot of things.
Yep.
A lot of things.
I want to talk about anxiety. How has that impacted your life?
Well, I mean, from about 16, 17 to around 22, 20, sort of 23, 22 sort of age. And in particular, you know, bits and bobs afterwards and before, I struggled a lot with seizures. I used to go just over the top. I just used to wake up, which is buzz out to me. I remember, I think the most significant one for me was Bond Street Station. I was at Bond Street Station. I had this big Parker jacket. I had an earphone in, wired. You know, AirPods weren't about at that time. You know what I'm saying? But it was wired, and someone's walked past me with his bag. Just a laptop bag, but he was just quick to get off the train. I think he was like, the doors were about to shut or something. But he's pulled. The bag's caught my earphones now, yanked them out my pocket with my phone. Phone's on the tracks. And I'm like, where's my phone? I'm like, what the fuck? All of the music's just stopped and my earphone's just swinging about and it's still in my ear. I'm like, what the fuck just happened there? So I'm allowed to swear.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I've been trying to avoid that for
I
time.
noticed a couple times.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? I
like,
should have asked that at the beginning.
Yeah,
Always
yeah.
prepare, man. But listen, but yeah, no. So it's caught the earphone cable on my earphones, and yeah, ripped my phone out, jumped out the carriage. Obviously, there's how many man there at Bond Street, you know what I'm saying? But obviously, the train just went, so there's fuck all people there for 1 minute. Train goes, and then one by one, people are turning up. I'm just like, I need to get my phone before this carriage gets packed out, man, because I'm gonna I'm already like my blood's racing. You know what I'm saying? I struggled a lot from a young age of anxiety, I think, but I think that was when it peaked. And I didn't deal with a lot of stuff. I was stuck looking after a lot of people, you know, my family, and I was without a lot of people. I didn't have no one to fall back on. My anxiety levels were really high. Yeah. So yeah, that was the worst one. I just remember waking up and there was one guy out of the whole station, 100 people along the thing. I just must have collapsed. I don't know what happened, because I remember just looking at my thing, and then one by one people are coming and they're wondering what I'm looking at. So I'm just like, oh no, I'm making it bait, but I need someone to just freeze. I always used to freeze, and that was the last I remember. I just woke up to some guy, and I always remember. You know Terry off what's the guy's name, man? White Chicks. Terry from White,
yeah, Terry Crews.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Bro, I woke up and there's a geezer like that. It's like, you all right, mate? I'm like, yeah. Like, what happened? Do you know what I'm saying? I was just like, what's going on? Some massive geezer. But I looked along the platform, nothing. You know, and I'm just thinking, it's just weird, because you just wake up and it's just like, it's like something out of Harry Potter. Yeah. Something's I've just spawned somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But it's seizures were a hard thing. But there's a lot of things, you know, that I used to deal with in that regard. It takes a toll in many areas. But that was probably the worst I suffered.
So were the seizures connected to the anxiety? Was that like a build-up of anxiety?
I believe so, because that's all the time that it used to happen. Yeah. Every time I used to get to a point where I was just like, oh my God, like my mind used to go a million miles, and it still does now. Everyone tells me I've got ADHD. I probably feel the same, to be fair.
I can tell that your mind goes a million paces at once because you talk really fast.
Yeah, I do. I do talk really fast, and I go from one thing to another.
Yeah.
For instance, if we rewind this, when we watch it back, you'll be like, yeah, I've asked you this question, but you've answered this, and this question whilst answering that question, because that's where my mind goes. It goes. But yeah, it's always been like that from young. So I think it was definitely just a build up.
Yeah.
Adrenaline. Yeah, I don't know. I just remember just the first time it ever happened, I was like, because I've never had that before. Never in my life. Like, and the first time I ever had a seizure altogether was from having 8 teeth out, and I had anaesthetic in. I remember getting home, slept. Next day, I woke up next to my telly in the front room. My mum was just like, "What?" Like, I'm like, "I don't know. What's just happened?" Like, she's like, "You're just buzzing out on the floor." I was like, "What's that?" Jibbing out on the floor, man. But yeah, that used to happen consistently when I was a little bit younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I've never asked anyone this before, but what does anxiety feel like for those who have no idea?
It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Very hard to explain. It's just you just uneasy. You know, it's like you're standing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think it affects people in different ways.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't, luckily I've been able to identify what it is to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able now to kind of calm down. It is just that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's important that we control that and identify what it is. So I've been able to identify what kind of things make me feel that way. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. That's the only way you can really deal with it. You know.
Yeah.
But you can't. My worst thing is if you just kind of dwell on it.
Yeah.
Like, if you sit there and just put yourself in a deeper hole. Because then it becomes anxiety, depression, all of that.
And that's easier to do.
And everything. Yeah, man. Very easier to do. But it's only. But I think as humans, you can only put up with something for so long, regardless of what you've been through.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, I
think
do. I
there's
think
like
if your mind's strong enough, yeah, definitely.
There's
and
a limit on how much you can deal with something before it says, all right, I've done that now. I'm just going to
Well, yeah, it's like a relationship.
get better.
You know, you think about any relationship you've been in. Have you ever been in a relationship where, you know, things that have failed on you? You know, do you feel as though that have you ever been in a predicament? Because I certainly have, where, you know, the person that you're seeing, you want to make it work. You love that person to pieces, but it's in reality. Eventually, when it gets to the point you are toxic, arguing every day, thingy that it just gets to a point. Yeah, let's leave this alone. Yeah, because it's not working.
Yeah.
I think as humans,
it's inevitable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of the word "keep going."
Yeah.
Because it is a standard. We are set as humans to, you know, push that shit aside.
Yeah.
I believe anyway. You just got to keep your mind strong, man. Identify where it is that's doing you in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
So what makes you anxious? What does you in?
Few things. Being alone.
Really?
Being alone. Yeah. I'm a very sociable person.
Yeah.
Very sociable person. So I like being sociable. I like talking to people. I like helping people. That's another thing for me. I get a buzz off of helping people. I like helping people. So that's yeah. There's a lot of things that help me. So when it comes to aloneness and you kind of doing things alone, like I've done music alone for a long time, but sometimes it gets to a point you're just like, hang on, I want one of my pals in there. I want my pals to listen to this. I want someone else who's doing music. A lot of the reason me and Tees work together. I like working with Tees. You know what I'm saying? I hope he feels the same. Let me know, mate. But you know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. Aloneness makes me feel like that. You know, I think pushing myself to certain thought spaces. You know, I was without my family up north, which is my dad's side of my family, for a long period of my life. You know, I missed my little sisters growing up. My little sister growing up, sorry, and my older sister having my niece and nephew. So I missed a lot of stuff with them. So I think when I push myself into any stuff like that, I think that's one of the main ones currently. You know, because I'm getting on a bit. I'm 26. I'm just getting on a bit. People are gonna go, oh, mate, you don't know what you know. Listen,
I'm talking about
what I'm talking about in the sense of where I feel as though I am with my family side of life. I don't mean getting on a bit in life.
Yeah,
I'm talking about there. Yeah, because I feel as though I've lost a lot of time with them. I'm trying to make as much time for that as possible. You know.
Yeah.
And I feel as though look, time's getting on. My sisters, I ain't getting no. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all. Like getting on in life, eventually we're gonna have less time, so let's do as much as we can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you can think about. I think it's just about pushing your thought spaces into the wrong places.
I was just about to say that because I feel like me personally, I can make myself anxious.
Yeah.
So you can think about something so hard and overthink it so badly that you find that you're in that space, and then you're like, how did I get here? Oh yeah, it was that thought because.
Exactly.
Yeah. But does that also mean that you can control it and it can be the other way? So when you are anxious, you can think yourself out of it.
100%.
Yeah.
I think for me, this is a massive part of it. So you just identify the difference between the two. Mm-hmm. So when you're in a situation, it's kind of hard not to be anxious or depressed or feeling down about it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in a situation, something that specifically upset you, and I think that comes down to the personal being. Mm-hmm. Whatever you would get upset about normally, you know what I'm saying? You can't really help those kind of things. But anxiety, I believe, is it's self-done.
Yeah.
You know, you do it a lot yourself.
Yeah.
That's kind of half of the battle. So for me, that's a big part of identifying what was making me feel that way and not pushing my brain into those places.
Yeah.
Very hard not to do so because there's a lot, you know, we find ourselves not appreciating ourselves for the work we've done or what we've done with our lives and pushing ourselves into the places where we feel as though we need to be because you're like, oh, I want this and I want that and I want, you know, hang on a minute. Look quick, you know what I'm saying? You've got a big view there. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget about that one for a second. We don't look at that a lot. So it's, man. So it's very self-done a lot of the time, I believe.
They say anxiety is like worrying about the future, isn't it? What hasn't happened, what you haven't got, what you desire. And it's like,
that's been a big thing for me.
Yeah.
That's been a big thing for me, I believe.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I grew up I was like one of few people in my school getting free meals. Mm-hmm. I was, you know, the kid in Lonsdale and everyone else was Adidas and Nike. You know what I'm saying? That kind of kid when I grew up. So I've grew up with naffle, being honest with you. Like, but it's about, you know, as opposed to what you see. I think that's a big thing to do with it as well. If you're in a community and things are kind of the same level, when you see people with more than you from a young kid, that I think that was a lot of it. And I identified that as well. And I think to myself, hang on a minute, I've actually had a blessed life when I think about it. But it's to do with other things. That's why, again, it's about control. Yeah. It's just about controlling it. You have to control it and think and identify every area, as many areas as possible. There's still things I uncover today. It's like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm doing that, bro. Yeah. I'm sitting there on my ones in my studio going, yes, bruv. I'm all right. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So, yeah, man. Appreciate yourself.
When you feel anxiety, is there anything anyone else can do to make you feel less anxious?
Of course.
What kinds
it's
of
no
things
one's responsibility, though.
Oh, no, definitely
I know,
not. I like that you've highlighted that. Yeah.
It's no one's responsibility.
Yeah.
Definitely not. You can never expect someone to, you know, you can only hope that not hope. You can only try and bring the people who put you in those spaces around you. Yep. It's the most you can do, you know. You cannot expect people to be that certain way. But of course, there's the things people can do to help, you know. And I feel like, it's down to them at the end of the day. Genuinely feel that way because a lot of people I know that are very, you know, cold-hearted. That's fine as well. You know, they've probably got things going on they don't chat to no one about. So, you know, everyone does things in different ways. Yep. So that's cool. But of course, there's things other people can do. Yeah, to help things. Like what? Like I knew you were going to ask me that one. Like, you know,
I don't know, talk to you or give you
it's hard to say though. It's hard to say though, isn't it? But yeah, again, it's hard to say because it depends on how you feel. Mental health comes in many shapes and forms. Yep. And I don't like highlighting just anxiety because I feel as though multiple mental health diagnoses are kind of mixed with each other anyway. You know, because you feel sad when you're anxious. Yeah. You feel on edge, but you feel like, why am I feeling like this?
They
you know
say
what I'm saying?
Anxiety and depression.
Yeah,
goes
all
hand
they
in
kind
hand.
of come hand in hand.
Yep.
There's a lot of things like that as well. So a lot of diagnoses. Yeah. That are like, I don't know if I'm saying the right word there. Yeah. Diagnoses, but there's a lot of things that are like that. So at the end of the day, I think when it comes to what people can do to help, it comes in many shapes and forms. Sometimes you want to be spoken to. Like I said to you, I feel alone sometimes, but sometimes I want to be left alone. Sometimes I do so much talking in a day. I'm a car salesman now. I come away from painting into car sales. So I go and stand on my feet all day and go, hello, mate, yeah, do you want this key out? Do you want, how much do you want to pay a month? And flipping, no, I can't do it for that price. You know what I'm saying? But flipping all of these things now, sometimes I want to be left alone. Sometimes I just want to chill, you know, bang a bit of FIFA or COD or something, just do my thing.
Yeah.
Leave it alone, you know? And there's many of things, but I think it's just about identifying the person you're speaking to, friends, family, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And just listen, maybe. Yeah. Instead of talking. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. That's another one. Sometimes when you feel a bit, you know, like someone. I think another one for me is when you're explaining what you're doing or where you're coming from. I go, yeah, I hear you, man. This happened to me. And this happened to me, and that's good. And you know what? I hear it because a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it as well, because I'm very like, you trying to relate yourself and trying to be like, I see where you're coming from, bro.
But it sometimes actually takes away from
and you're just like, but you're not seeing where I'm coming from. Like, no, I am, but I'm telling you how I do see where you're coming from, and then it's just like you're crossing wires before you connect to them. You know, so this is why it's hard. You can't put it on other people, I believe. Yeah. I don't feel as though it's down to other people. Yeah. I think it's very much you need to realise that you are feeling this way. No, you know, I think the most like anyone can do is give you leeway at best. You know what I'm saying? Just give you a bit of leeway. Like at the end of the day, how I'm sitting in front of you now, I feel I'm cool, to be honest with you. I've been cool for a long time. I've been cool a good 99% of my life, I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally, like because I've had to stay on top of things, and I'm happy with that. That's fine. I kind of power through. I'm a bit of a power ass. Yeah. So, like, how I'm sitting in front of you today, you know that this is the way I am. Kind of like, in a sense, if you knew me for a long time, you know that this is how I am. So obviously, if that's off, you know, something's different. Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of arguments that comes from them side of things, and people think, why you got the arse with me, mate? There's nothing for him to be the arse with you about over. Like, he's got the arse with whatever he's got going on. You know what I mean? You just have to take time. Even if they have got the arse with you, just be patient, bruv. They'll tell you, I'm sure. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's, man. It's just listening out. Everyone, I think the best thing is listening out for triggers, but we've all got to be more aware of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But again, I'm heavily invested in it. It's no one's problem, mate. You know, this is you. Don't expect everyone to go, you know, there's a lot of people out there today that go, oh, fucking mental health. You know what I mean? So that's expected, man. A lot of people get the arse with that as well. Like, why are you not caring about mental health? Because they don't get that journey. They ain't been through stuff like that. So they don't understand. And that's fine. Yep. That's absolutely fine. They just need to be educated at some point.
I think that it's important that as a person, you know your triggers to tell other people, because other people will not know what your triggers are. Or if you don't know what they are, make an effort to find out what they are.
So people you care about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of the stuff at the minute to do with mental health, being quite honest with you, a lot of people expect a lot of stuff, a lot of treatment, and that's wrong. You can't do that. Being totally, you know, I've suffered very, very badly before. I don't believe you should be entitled to anything. It's not about entitlement. Yeah. Because what is life? The world turns, man. That's it. The world just spins. And wherever you are today, you've got to put yourself there at the end of it all. You know, if you're suffering with something, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you know, especially from up there, just being up there all the time, that you feel as though there's no help. And it's a blessing to get that kind of help from someone. And in a way, it's much better when it comes along. Yeah. When you let stuff happen naturally. Because if you're constantly, but I feel as though this, and we should be feeling like this. Of course, educate people though. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it needs to be more educational rather than flipping expectance, and, you know, there must be this kind of thing for mental health. That, you know, it's good that we're getting it in schools and stuff, and workplaces and things like that. That's great. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it actually says in places in my work, this is the mental health person. Yeah. That's good. I rate that. That's great. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I just think a lot of it's down to expectance. And I think I used to expect a lot of stuff. Like, why doesn't he just see that I'm thingy? You know what I mean? That winds you up.
I saw a, you know, like one of them quote tweets on Instagram the other day, and someone put it up, and it said something like, people who don't see when you're suffering need to basically not be in your life. And I messaged the person and I said, how is someone meant to see that you're suffering? What does suffering look like?
Yeah.
How about you tell them that you're suffering and you go and seek help? Why should someone be cancelled because they've not seen that you're down in the dumps? How is that possible?
Yeah. It is hard because not everyone's going to see it.
Yeah.
It's down to a lot of it. And as well, it's hard because a lot of people expect it when they know they haven't shown it. They've specifically not shown it. You'll go to work and you'll be like, yeah. You go to your parents, you'll be like, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean, and be your normal self. You know you're being your normal self. You know you're not showing it in any type of way. But at the end of the day, I'm not slewing anyone who does expect it or whatever way they feel. You feel as though someone should come and talk to you, that's fine. I just think we need to do better as humans. We need to do the most that we can to get past what we're getting past. You know, for instance, if something happened tomorrow, I don't know, my dog died. Yeah, let's just say that. And I bawl my eyes out.
Have you got a dog?
Yeah, I got a dog. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Just randomly, just my dog died. I ain't got one, but no, but you know, something like that. Obviously, I'm gonna be upset. You know, you're gonna give that person a minute. I ain't gonna come back like that. You know what I'm saying? So if it's the same kind of stuff with this, if you're feeling so low and so thinking, sometimes you need a minute. Sometimes you need a minute before you start actually dealing with the problem.
Yeah.
As long as it is just a minute before you're dealing with the problem.
Yeah.
You cannot go out there and just catastrophically. Some people can't help it. That's fine. But again, many shapes and forms, you know what I'm saying? It comes in very many shapes or forms. But I believe that the people who really are in the place where they can't bring it back and can't tell anyone, people will see that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's that bad, being honest.
What's been harder for you to deal with, anxiety or depression?
Anxiety all day long. But again, hand in hand. Very hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, you get yourself down about a lot of stuff like that. You know, where you are in life and who you spent your time with, what you didn't have, what you want to have and feel as though you can't get, feels like it's going to take too long, which is dumb. It doesn't matter. We've got one life. We've got to enjoy it all. Well, we haven't. You know, it's just so much pressure, man. There's a lot of pressure in the world today.
Yeah.
A lot more so than when we was young, I believe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to deal with, a lot more bills, a lot more this, a lot more that, a lot more, you know, it's harder to get here and it's harder to get there. And there's so many people doing this and there's so many people doing that, so I'm never going to get there. It's all that. There's so much that we see from kids who've grown up a very similar way, this generation. Yeah. You know? So we want to be in the same places.
Would you say you're over anxiety now? Or is it something that can still like come up every so often?
No. I don't think I ever will be. I think you know, not in the sense of I ever will be, but I don't feel as though there will ever be a time where I won't feel the way I do over certain situations and things. You know, I think that's just the way it is, which is fine. And I think that's another thing as well, accepting it. You got to accept it. Yeah. If you don't, it's, you know, you're setting yourself up to lose, I believe. Because how are you going to move something and past something if you can't? Getting over it's a kind of similar perspective to it, but I think you got to just, it comes back to dealing with it. You know what I mean? Deal with it, man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. That's what you got to do. Yeah, like, but it sounds awful when you say it. It sounds absolutely awful.
The way I said it sounds
awful. How do you feel mental health? Like, and you go, deal with it. Like, not like that, just in the sense of it is, deal with it. Deal with it, and in a positive way, man. And I think it's about, a lot of the time, know who you have around you. Yeah. Put yourself in the situations you need to be in if you feel that way. If you feel as though this person isn't the same as you in that way, or doesn't, you know, bruv, what do you expect if this person doesn't care about no one but himself, and this person is not like that? But you have to look at people you're around. You have to kind of, not saying cut those people off, but you have to put yourself in predicaments where your atmosphere is better. Yeah. Like, put yourself in more positive situations. Work's a good one for me right now, because I like, you know, we're all car salesmen and that. Like, we're quite bubbly people, quite characters. Yeah, so a lot of the time, they feel the way I do. I see their emotions rise from top to bottom. Yeah, and that's good to see, you know, because it's like, you can inspect that almost. Inspect that and see what's going on there and see the difference. Yeah, analyse, man. Learn. Life's about learning and living, evolving, adapting, and overcoming.
Love it. That was deep.
You told me not to dodge no questions, man. I don't do that anyway, but yeah, man.
What does recovery look like to you?
What does recovery look like to me? It's hard to say, really. I don't feel as though there has been one.
Fair enough.
I feel as though life is life.
Yep.
Live it, man. You know, embrace what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big thing for me as well. Embrace what you're feeling. You can't, you know, that sounds dumb, but if I didn't know what anxiety looked like, I'd be pretty scared. If I didn't know what depression looked like, I'd be pretty scared. So if I was ever sent there, I don't know how to cope with it.
Yeah.
So you got to embrace these feelings. If you feel, you know, I never used to, I don't think, I never used to cry. Yeah. I cried at my mum's wedding because that was massive.
Yeah.
I cried when I see my dad and met up with my sisters and all these things that I dealt with from this and that. I've cried on many occasions now. That was a big part of it because it was just like, hang on a minute, I can do that. That's all right. That's fine. You know, that's a big thing. Like in men as well, especially today, crying. That's not. A lot of people can't do that. Embrace how you feel. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's maybe hard to begin with, and we're in denial a lot of the time of the fact that we need to go there. But yeah, it's definitely. I've tried to push that on a lot of people. You know.
Yeah.
Try to embrace how you feel because there's not many. You know, you'll learn a lot about it for one, and two. Again, it comes back to only being here once, man. Everything's fickle.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah. Good time. Yeah, but real spit. It is real spit, you know. We are here for a good time.
Yeah.
And it is that's well, they say that, innit? You know what I mean? We're actually here for a bunch of stress and this and this. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's, look, enjoy your life when it's time to enjoy your life. Put in the work when you need to put in the work. And anytime that you need a minute, go and take a minute.
Yep.
It can be so simple sometimes.
Do you class yourself as, I don't want to say an anxiety sufferer, but maybe someone who lives with anxiety?
Yes and no. I mean, again, I feel as though what I can say to you, El, is that I'm a very current person. I'm very natural. I act on how I feel. You can't ignore what is in front of you, kind of stuff. So I think, again, it comes down to, again, embracing where you are in that frame of mind, and it's all right to be in whatever frame of mind you're in.
Yep.
That's what it's down to, I believe. So I don't feel as though I'm a sufferer, and I believe a lot as well in, if you label something, that's how it is.
Yep. I've heard that before.
If you label something, that's how it is.
As soon as you put
until you go, right, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, are you going to do that if that's what happens?
Yep.
I'm not labeling it. There's no need to put a label on a lot of things in life that we do. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to do that. Just carry on doing what you're doing. All I know is that right now, making music makes me happy. I don't class myself as anything. I don't class myself as a grime MC, but I do loads of grime sets.
Yep.
You can call me a grime MC if you want, that's fine. If you qualify me as that, that's fine. You know, people go on to genres of music and say, no, I think this is this. No, it's actually this. And no, it ain't. It's got these kind of drums in it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
does it matter?
Yeah, it don't matter. No, it don't. Don't label nothing. Just go out and do your thing. Go and do what makes you happy, man.
So if Rolla goes out and makes pop music, I don't want to hear anything
about
it.
I don't. You won't. You won't, because it will be hard and they'll love it. No, man. Yeah, it's good.
Describe your mental health journey in 5 words for me. He's giving me the eyebrow for those who can't see.
Describe it in 5 words.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, everyone. Good day. That's what I reckon. No, I'm capping. No, I can't really think of anything. I'll just say, nah, man. Can't really describe it in 5 words.
Yeah.
I think, again.
Is it too few words, or is it just something that cannot be described?
Yeah. When you ask me about mental health, my brain goes to so many places. There's so many places for it to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's definitely been a journey. Hang on. Definitely been a journey.
Oh.
Man. There we go. It's definitely been a journey, man. There we go. They're the 5. They're the 5 for you.
What is one piece of advice that maybe someone has given you that stuck with you?
One bit of advice that someone stuck with me, that stayed with me. God. Big up Peter. I don't know where you are or what you're doing now, Rasta Pete, mate. But I used to work with him. He used to tell me don't run. All the time. All the time. Because I used to be, when I was a decorator, right, so we was working on this, I was like his little young'un. I remember he told me how old he was. This geezer, I'm telling you now, he looks about 35, yeah? He said, how old do you reckon I am? I was like, about 35, 38, something like that. And like, not to be rude, he was like, mate, I'm 60. I went,
Wow.
bro, no, you ain't, like, buzz out. But yeah, I don't know where Peter is now. But he was a very wise person. And I was very quiet when I was going through what I was going through. Mm-hmm. Very quiet. Not how I am now.
Yeah.
I was normally in anxious situations, I'm an output. So I go more outwards and I say more. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a bit of an output anxious person because I'd say it to kind of fill the room. But I mean, when I'm going through stuff specifically, I'm quite quiet. I like to kind of just stick to my business. But it's not dealing with stuff. It's just letting the things affect me. Yeah. And he always he just used to walk past me. Don't run, bro. Don't run. I know what he was saying to me because he said it to me once. Because I felt like as though I could talk to him. I never really had a dad. My dad wasn't in my life for most of my life. I love him to pieces now. God, I loved him to pieces before, but he just wasn't in my life for a while. So, a lot of the men that I met were kind of like that to me, especially when I worked with them for a few years, a good few years, about 6-7 years I worked for them. So, yeah, Peter, I used to speak to quite a lot, and he said, "Yeah, don't run." It's a good bit of advice.
I like that.
Because again, it comes back to embracing stuff. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Don't run from it. It's good. Get it out your system.
Yeah.
Whatever you need to get out your system.
And that leads me to ask you, how do you deal with your emotions? How do you release them? Is it music? Is it talking? Is it writing? Is it actions? Is it...
Yeah, a bit of a mixture of all of that. Yeah. Yeah, man. Again, coming back to doing what you enjoy. Yeah. Even at times where, you know, on paper, the stats are that you enjoy this. Don't convince yourself you don't, because you do. Yeah, at the end of the day, don't think about, I don't want to go down to the pub because I don't enjoy a bit. But, Rose, you enjoy a bit. Yeah. Go and have a bit with your pals and enjoy it.
I was going to say with your packet.
We don't touch that. We don't touch that. Never in my life. I'm a blazer from day .1. Been a big blazer. No, I never touch packet. But yeah, like it's go and do the things that you enjoy. Simple as that. You'll cheer up. You'll forget about it in 2 seconds. Yeah. I remember when I split with my first missus when I was proper young. I was just like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, I can't even remember what I was doing. But I was out just somewhere and I was just like, oh my days, I ain't even thought about it. I just clocked. I split up with her today. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Buzz out, man. Buzz out. Yeah, just do the things you enjoy.
Yeah. Can I just clarify, that wasn't your packet, that was about the lyric?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay.
I know. No, that's what I said.
Don't want anyone writing in to be like, oh, she's outed in the air and she said that. What?
She's talking about Rolls getting on packet. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, me and her are nutters when it comes down to packet, man. Don't want to catch us on a night out. Oh, wait. No, I'm chatting shit, man. Big blazer.
How do you look after your mental health?
How do I look after it?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Pretty much all of that stuff there. Yep. Embrace it, deal with it, think about it properly. Yeah. Go and do the things that you want to be doing. Yeah. Take the time that you need, identify it. All of them things. Do you know what? We've actually bullet pointed how I deal with it, to be fair.
I love that.
Pretty much bullet pointed. Yeah. Because I just identify what it is. Try not to put myself in any situations that put me further in. Yeah. Try and just embrace it a little bit as much as I need to. Take a minute, flipping, crack on, do your life, man. Yeah. It won't last. Nothing lasts. Nothing lasts, man. No, man.
You tweeted the other day about... Sorry, go on.
It's all right. No. I was just saying nothing lasts, man.
You tweeted the other day about don't worry about completing everything in a day. You don't have to. Regroup. Yeah, do your thing and then come back.
Out. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, massively. That's what it's about. I believe we're trying to do that 24/7, especially coming back to my work and doing. You know, I work as a car salesman. Weekends, I was telling you earlier. Yeah. Weekends is what a lot of weekends I work. Yeah, that's a time that I want to be doing things when everyone else is free. Yep. Yeah. I find myself trying to cram everything in one day with people that I want to do things with. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think, oh, what? I can't do it. Plan. It's cool. We'll just plan it. and then we'll have even more time and a better. It's true, but I just want to go. Oh my god! But I've got. But it's now. I'm very current.
Yeah.
It winds a lot of people up because I'm very natural. Very thing. It's just like, what the fuck, mate? I didn't know we was doing this today. You know, I was like, yeah, we're doing that today, bro. Spontaneous. How about that? I'm that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
What do you want people to take away from this interview?
This interview.
Yeah.
That you're a top girl and I'm a top boy. And Observer is a sick engineer when it comes to this mode stuff. No, I want everyone to take away from this on that forefront, due to the show being that kind of based, you know, look after yourself, man.
Yeah.
Cleanse yourself of everything, you know, not just shower. That's important too, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, definitely appreciate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Come out of this and look at what you've done. You know what I'm saying? If this is where this has taken you, if this has taken you on that kind of journey where you're like, yeah, thinking about the way, if I've helped you in any way, brilliant, man. I rate that. But I think when it comes to this kind of stuff, just appreciate yourself. Look at what you've done, man.
Yeah.
Look at the and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop unless you're in a situation. If you're in a situation, exactly what I just said a minute ago, nothing lasts, man.
Yeah.
Nothing at all, good or bad. So don't worry about it. Eventually, we'll get to the end of it. Know what I mean? And yeah, man. And Lockjaw's out now.
Not even a sly plug, but a plug.
Yeah, but a plug, just a straight up
Just a
plug.
straight up
Man.
plug.
Lockjaw's out now on Bandcamp. It'll be out on all stores on the 29th.
Love it. To finish off our interview, we're going to play a quick game of this or that.
This
I'm
or
going to
that.
give you two options, and you pick the first one that comes to your brain.
I'm down.
First one is Newbury Park or Romford.
Newbury Park or Romford?
Yeah.
I've got to say Romford.
Producing or singing.
It's not a 5-second one, is it? 'Cause
No.
I'm fucked if you're going to ask me that. God, Jesus, man. I'm going to have to... I'm going to have to say singing. I'm going to have to say singing.
The Old Blue Last or Peckham Audio.
Sorry, Peckham Audio, man. It's got to be Old Blue Last.
Thought so. Potter Paper or Nines.
Should be Potter, man, but I find myself listening to a lot more Nines.
Twitter or Instagram.
Insta.
That was straight. Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Where can
Twitter's just full of shit. Straight up. Sorry, everyone. Full of shit. Go on, sorry.
And West
Karen.
Ham tweets.
Yeah, West Ham tweets, fucking and bullshit and grime spaces and shit. Yeah, I said it. What a load of bollocks. Anyway, yeah, Insta.
Where can we find you on those said socials?
On said socials.
Yeah.
You can find me at ROLLA Payback. Big up my Payback Entertainment brothers and
Payback.
sisters, man. Ags, Tommy B, TC the Genius, Curbs. I just wanted to say that real quick about Sniper Man, where you're there. Gleedy, everyone, man. But yeah, you can find me at Roller Payback on everything. You can find the Get Go at the Get Go HQ on everything. Watch out for a lot more stuff because I've got events, songs, everything. Big up Gravity, big up Suag, big up Lewis Davies. Doing a lot for everything. Yeah, you can find me on all those places.
Rolla, you have been a totally sick guest. I knew you would, but you've just come through and like surpassed what I thought you would be. So thank you very much for coming on.
No stress at all. It was my pleasure.
I have been Elle Formosa. This has been the Elle Show, and that has been Mental Health in Music. I will be back soon with another guest and another show. Thank you for listening. Take it easy. Keep it locked. This is Mode London